Buongiorno, welcome back to our new Italian course, which is a course for learning Italian for beginners, for complete beginners, which is separate from the other videos that I have uploaded, which are more random topics, things that in general students of different levels can find a little bit tricky. So this one is specifically for people who are beginners, who have never studied Italian before, or who have just started, and maybe they want a little bit more practice, a little bit more information. So this is lesson 4, Lezione Quattro. And I would recommend to anyone who is interested in following this course to do so from lesson 1, Lezione Uno, because they are almost organized so that there is a progress in the lessons. So starting from very simple and basic and then adding to it and becoming a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more complex as well. So I would suggest not to skip any lessons. However, feel free to do whatever you want. So first of all, let me thank all the subscribers and people who liked and commented on my videos and shared the videos. May I remind you to, when you listen to a video, to like the video as well. Obviously, I'm very grateful if you do subscribe too. It is a personal rule for myself that if I watch something, a video on YouTube in this case, even if for whatever reason I decide not to subscribe, I still like the video because I've taken something from it, so I want to give back. And finally, I do Italian lessons as well, private Italian tuition. So if you're interested, get in touch. It's a one-to-one or very small groups, maximum 3 of people on the same level, obviously. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world because I teach online with Zoom. Right, so this is, as I said, lesson 4, lezione 4, and we are continuing from the previous lessons. And that's why, as I said, it's a good idea to follow them in order so they make a bit more sense, because I do use often examples that I've used in the previous sessions. So you can recognize these examples or these words. Today in particular, we are going to focus on masculine, feminine, and also formal, informal. We have 2 different ways to talk to somebody in Italian. It's like really in English is when you say hi, John, or otherwise hello or good morning, Mr. whatever. This is the first one is informal, the second formal. So following really the same principle. What you don't have in English is the masculine and feminine. In Italian, most, in fact, not most, all things, so someone or something, people and things, are either masculine or feminine. Also, the words that describe or express a quality about these things, this someone or something, must agree with the noun, so must be masculine if they are describing a masculine person or object, and must be feminine if they are so they need to agree with the noun, which is feminine, when they are describing this noun. We'll see some examples and we'll see how to apply this rule. So let's share the document that I have prepared. So here we have to start with an informal mini dialogue. This dialogue actually is very similar to some sentences that I used in the previous lesson. I think also in lesson 1, you'll see similar examples. It is informal, so talking to somebody, either, for example, two people who are of the same age, normally a younger age, or in a very informal context, informal situation. I don't know, if you are on holiday in Italy, for example, and you are on a beach that is quite informal. That's just an example. So let's see, I'm going to read this very, very brief dialogue. I'm sure you will recognize most, if not all, of the words which I have used, as I said, in the previous lessons. So here it is. Tu sei italiano? Sì, sono italiano. E tu? Io sono inglese. So the very first question, the two is in brackets again, because we don't really need it unless you're emphasizing and you're asking specifically one person instead of another, if in this case, if they are Italian. So are you Italian? The answer is sì, sono italiano. Yes, I am Italian. E tu? And you? Io sono inglese. I am English. So here, as I mentioned in the first lesson as well, we have italiano ending in an O. So what does it mean? If a word, and in particular a noun, someone or something, or a word that describes a noun, if it ends in O, we know immediately that we are talking about a male or a masculine, if it's an object. So here we know immediately somebody is asking a question to a male. And obviously the person answering is usually describing himself as a male as well, Italiano. Asking what about you, where are you from, basically, and then we have an answer. In the answer, we don't know if the person is a male or a female. We'll see why. So here, as I said, so when we're talking about someone or something, that is a noun from the grammar point of view. And if the words instead that we use to describe a noun, or the words that we use to express qualities about a noun, are called adjectives. In Italian, aggettivo would be nome for noun, aggettivo for adjective. Do we need to know all this grammar terminology when we're learning a language? In theory, no, or not. We don't. It's just easier to use these words, let's call them technical or grammar terminology, really. So we know what we are talking about instead of trying to describe it, the thing they use to put there and then blah, blah. At least we know the name of a certain group of words that we use for specific things in a sentence. So here we have down here an examples of adjectives. Adjectives are the words that describe a noun, the words that describe someone or something. On the left, we have the masculine. On the right, we have the feminine. So we can see italiano, which is masculine, ending in O. Italiana, feminine, ending in A. Spagnolo, masculine. Spagnola, feminine. Americano, masculine. Americana, feminine. I'm not going to translate these words. I think they're quite clear. As I said, as you can see clearly, O masculine, A feminine. This is the rule. It's the rule for most words, most adjectives that we have in Italian. O masculine, which is, I always refer to the masculine singular as the default, which is what you find in a dictionary, for example, and then you need to change it and make it agree accordingly. So, for example, if you look in the dictionary, how do I say Italian? You find Italiano. And then if you need to describe something or someone which is feminine, then you know the rule, you need to change the O into A. So you'll need to use Italiana. So this is what happens in this case for these first three examples. However, like in the mini dialogue here, where we have Inglese, we also have a smaller group of describing words, of adjectives, which doesn't follow the rule of the main group of adjectives. So the smaller group, instead, the default, as I called it earlier, which is what you find in the dictionary, ends in E, Inglese, and then we have, again, also for the feminine, Inglese. Another example, Canadese, for the masculine, Canadese for the feminine as well. That's how it is. It's not that you can't do anything about it. So, recapping, the bigger group of adjectives, of describing words, end in O when they're masculine, A when they're feminine. However, there is a smaller group of adjectives which end in E, and we can use them for both masculine and feminine. It doesn't change. So going back to this dialogue, as I said earlier, we know this Italiano, we know we're talking to a man, but this person who says sono inglese, I am English, we don't know if it's a man or a woman. You would find out eventually from a context if you're reading. There is always something around they would tell you. Obviously, if you are in person, then you know. You don't need to ask. So now we saw the informal way earlier in this mini dialogue, informal way to address somebody. The informal way is when you use to. So we have to here, even if I have put it in brackets. And then also when you're asking what about you and you, we use to, which in the list of the persons that you will find both in the first and second lesson is the you singular to. However, we have here exactly the same mini dialogue, but using the formal way to address somebody. I've also changed the person. Instead of an Italiano, a male, we have a female. We have an Italiana here. So here I'm going to read it first. Lei è italiana? Sì, sono italiana. E lei? Io sono canadese. So here, instead of to, we are using lei. So are you Italian? Yes, I am Italian. And you? I am Canadian. So here, instead of to, which is the informal you, we are using lei, which is the formal way to address somebody. I know that we've learned so far that lei means she. And yes, it does mean she. However, in this context, it means you formal. It's if some of you, many, in fact, many people have studied a little bit of French, at least a little bit. if you think about it, vous in French, which literally means you plural, but vous is the formal way to address somebody. In Italian, instead of the you plural, we use lei, which is the third person, feminine. So as I said, literally it means she. However, you need to get rid of this literal translation when you are using it for the formal, and just think that lei is formal, is the formal way to address somebody. In fact, in the list, very often you find lei, in fact, lui, lei, and then you see lei with a capital letter. And also when you have a book, when you're studying from a book, at the very beginning at least, when they're using in dialogues or whatever it is that you're reading, when they're using the formal, they will use the capital letter for lei to help you recognize it. In Italian, we use the capital letter for lei only in very official and important documents. Otherwise, no, we don't in a normal book. So tu is the informal way to talk to somebody. Lei is the formal way to talk to address somebody, and we can use it for men and women, for both. It doesn't change. It is always lei. And as you can see, the verb is also conjugated according to lei, whichever verb conjugation you would use for lei, you use it for the you formal. Please do ask me explanation or to clarify anything if it is not clear. These things will come up again. I may not dedicate a whole video on it, to it. However, if you have questions, please use the comments for that. Here we have, going back to the adjectives, as I said, the adjectives are the describing words, those words that express a quality, a description of a noun, somebody, someone or something. So we have, I've made the two groups. So as I said, the group where we have most of the adjectives, the ending O for the masculine, A for the feminine. And then I've added also some adjectives that belong to the other group where the adjectives end in E, and we can use them for both masculine and feminine. So let's read them. On the left, we have the masculine. On the right, we have the feminine. Bello, bella, which is beautiful. Buono, buona, which means good. So these are describing in particular aesthetics, also a quality, could be the taste of something, for example. Other adjectives are also colors. We've seen nationalities and colors as well. Nero, black, masculine. Nera, black, feminine. Alto, tall. Alta, for the feminine. And now let's come to this other group, the one where the adjectives end in E. Interessante, as you can see, is just the same for both. Intelligente. I'm not going to translate these ones. I think they're quite clear. I've also put a color here, verde, which is green. And then veloce, which is fast. So these ones, as I said, the ones ending in E, we can use them for both masculine and feminine without changing the ending. Instead, these ones, you have to change the ending accordingly. How do we know, does it belong to the first group or second group? First of all, I'm talking about groups, just to make it a little bit clear. It's just simply when you learn, how do I say beautiful in Italian? You see, bello, okay. You'll see the ending in O, so you know that you can change it accordingly. If you are describing instead something or someone which is beautiful, but it's a female or feminine. Instead, how do I say green? Verde. So verde, automatically you should think that, and because it's ending e, you can use it for both masculine and feminine. You don't need to change it. So this is it for today, lesson 4, lezione 4. Let me remind you to subscribe, like, and leave a comment with your thoughts. If you have a question, please also ask me a question in the comment. And if it's an easy answer, I will answer in the comments. Otherwise, I will make a video, especially if it's something that can benefit many people, or if it's something that many normally find difficult. I will say bye for now, and I will see you on our next lesson, which will be lesson 5, lezione 5. Arrivederci. Ciao.